So, hello, Miss Danielle Yui. Uh, I,
Yes,
I
correct.
I have been going through your profile for a couple of days, and I'm impressed of your work. So, firstly, I want to ask you about yourself. What's your background, and how did you end up where you are working right now?
Right. Thank you, Naimul, for the invitation. I'm super happy to be talking to you. I studied psychology
Okay.
in a Peruvian university. I'm Peruvian, and I fell in love with the organizational field. So I am currently a headhunter. I've been working as a headhunter, as a recruiter for almost 3 years.
Okay. Nice.
Um, in a Brazilian company. I am currently working in a Brazilian company as a
Nice.
headhunter. I'm in charge of the executive positions, for example, C levels, VPs, managers, and also some international projects. So I take care of, for example, some positions for different countries like Colombia, Portugal, Argentina, and also Brazil, that is the main country that I lead.
Um,
Um, I'm in charge of the whole process, of the whole selection process with different clients, big companies, and that's what I do. That's the thing that I do every day.
and that's impressive. I mean, I have a lot of things learned from you right now. So you
Nice.
have lots of experiences. So my next question is about something teamwork. I mean, in your organization. So
Mhm.
how what do you think, how important have teamwork and communication been to your success? I mean, you have been success so far, so how actually important the team working and communication?
Right. So I think teamwork has started since I was very young, like at school, at the university with projects. It's always important to really learn how to work with people because you won't always work alone.
Yeah.
So it's been very important to me to really learn how to treat people. Everyone is different. So you really need to understand their manners, their way of thinking, be very respectful to what they think, what their opinions. So I think that's something that I've learned, and that also gave me like the power to really be what I am now. For example, with the clients, understand a lot of what they ask, be an empathic person, um, really open to understand the requirements. Um, from my clients, but also from the teamwork that I work on. I'm really happy of what I've built in this Brazilian company that I am, because that I work at now, because I saw how the team grew. I mean, I was like the number one person for international projects. So I help in the recruitment process of new members. And I had to understand from the beginning how they were, train them. So this thing of helping each other has been really, really important to really build the team that we have today. It's very unique. We also help each other a lot, and the communication. It's something that I've been working on in the past 3 years in this Brazilian company too, because when you have these, for example, the clients that I lead every day with, you really need to be very transparent.
Yeah.
So it's really important to really communicate every detail so they stay calm about the process. And also, for example, to my team,
Okay.
um, for example, if there's a process, but we no, another example. I have one client, and that client has a lot of processes with us. So I lead a project, and another member lead another project, but for the same client. So I am I communicate about the process with this client and also my coworker. So
Yes.
sometimes um, it can create confusion when you have two
Thanks.
people, or maybe, for example, the client says tells something to my coworker, but she doesn't tell me that, and
Yeah, definitely.
I I get lost because there's not like a line in the communication, so I don't have the contact. So maintain everyone in the same page is really really important, and it's something that I've really learned how to deal with, because it I feel like communication is important because you give some um how can I say this? You can make the client stay calm about the situation, and also anticipate to some events that can happen and can ruin all the work that you've done with them, and the trust also, that is very
Yes.
important in this case. So I think that also teamwork and communication has really helped me in this professional path that I've built. I
Okay,
don't know
that's
if I answered
that's
the
really nice. And for building up trust, you need to communicate with your team members. So this is the pathway. Okay, so my next question is, what are other skills that you are important when working in a team, like problem solving, decision making, any kind of?
Yeah, I
So
think when I'm sorry.
no, 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 yeah.
Okay, nice. So I think that when working in a team, there's a lot of skills that you really need to pay attention to. Communication and teamwork are both super important, but also I think sense of urgency is good, and also sense of, I mean, urgency sense, because sometimes you're in a hurry and it's really nice to really like get the help you need when you're in trouble.
Yes.
And also be very to show proactivity,
Yes.
because for example you're in a hurry and you need help, and someone comes up with an idea that can help you, so that's nice to get. But for you to like bring ideas to the table, you need to listen. So listening is another important skill. Listening to your coworker, listening your whole team, your boss, even the intern. That it happens a lot that when you're an intern nobody cares about you. That can happen. You need to listen. It's really important to do that. um well, listening, the proactivity, and also other skills, as you mentioned, problem solving, decision making. I think it all goes like in the same way of really thinking of the problem and have this sense of urgency to solve it and get to a final decision to solve the problem, and so everyone's happy. So I think those could really help beside teamwork and communication.
Okay. Thank you very much. And I'm going for my next question. What do you wish you knew earlier in your career about teamwork and communication? So
One thing about communication that I think it may be kind of obvious, but I really wish I knew about it, because sometimes it has happened to me before that I prefer not to say things in order to not bother someone,
okay.
or not get into some conflicts, and just like stay in peace and do like nothing is happening, like,
Yeah.
so. And that's not okay, because there's a person
Yep.
in the other hand, maybe waiting for an answer, anxious for a comment, for an answer that you need to give to them. So I've learned that it's really important to communicate, even if it's a bad news, because bad news is something that I face every day when it comes to candidates and appliance to jobs and so on. I think it's very important to really lose these scary moments when you prefer or you choose to not communicate something, and really talk and be clear and be transparent, and say everything that need to be said, even if it's uncomfortable for the client or for your coworker. For example, your coworker could do something wrong, and or maybe could I don't know, had a bad behavior, done something in another way that is not usual in the company. So it's better to tell them in a very respectful way, but to tell them. So I think that one thing that I wish I knew was, like, don't expect to, how can I say this? Don't stay quiet at certain situations. It's really important for you to talk and really communicate with them, and don't be afraid of what others would say. I mean, sometimes they will really understand. They will really be very open to your comments. So that's one thing that I wish I knew before.
Okay, so basically, we have to control our emotions while we are starting
That's
our.
also yes,
Yeah.
that's very
Okay.
important too. That's a
Okay.
good one.
Okay. So, okay. My next question is, how important is trust in your work? Can you give me an example?
Okay. Trust. I mean, trust. Is something that you build uh, during, I don't know, days, months, even years, and I think that it's been very important in order for me to become a very autonomic person and be like myself and do my processes by myself without the help of my boss.
Yes.
So I think that's very important in a in my work. It's very important because during the first, for example, in the first month, no one knew about me. I was new. I had to really prove that I'm worth all these processes that I went through. So I think that in these first months, I built the trust in me about my work, but also for my boss to trust me, and in my work. So it's been very important in these past 3 years, and also something that I learned how to trust new people, because as I told you, I watched this my current team. I watched them grow up. So I had to be patient. I had to be very careful of how I approach to them. So it's been very important. And maybe an example could be that I spent the first months um, trying to prove all my knowledge, and the result of that was that I am now a very autonomic person and I can really work by myself without the help, and I know that my bosses trust in my work. So I don't know if I answered the question.
Impressive. I mean, you actually answered it properly. So we need to
Nice.
we need to build trust, and for that reason, I mean, for building up trust, we need to be more understandable for each other. So
Yes.
okay. So, okay, so my next question is, how do you build trust and how do you recover it if it gets lost? So, I
Wow.
mean, it's totally related.
That's a difficult question because it's very common at work to, or maybe with clients, I've seen it with clients that they lose trust in us. The confidence is broken, and it's really difficult to regain it.
Yeah.
So I think it's more about giving like a second chance and be really close to that person to see their development in a couple of, I don't know, months, 3, 6, a year. But talking about teamwork, it could be it to be very honest with you, I've never experienced like a lack of trust because someone did something so wrong that I really couldn't trust them anymore. I mean, I've never been through that.
Okay.
But if that happened to me, I think I'd be a very patient, very like a lot of approach it with a lot of empathy and understand maybe what they're going through and be really close to their needs because they may have some needs, they may need help. So something important that I could do maybe is to be close to them and watch them grow and watch their process if I'm allowed to, of course. um to watch the process until everything goes to a normal way again. I
Okay.
think that's something that I may do, but to be honest, I've never experienced such a thing at work.
Okay. Okay, that's nice. And my last question for you. So, what one habit you would recommend that a new Masters in Finance graduate student develop about teamwork and communication? So, that's for me actually. So, I'm doing Masters in Finance. So,
Nice.
what you would recommend me? So, what should I develop?
Wow. What a complex question. I think it depends. It really depends on the skills of each person because everyone is different. Uh, but maybe one thing that I would recommend, and I think that I've told you before, I think, well, in my knowledge, finance is like a really giant field. You get to see a lot, and sometimes, and there's a lot of numbers also, a lot of planning. It's a very strategic field. So you really need to be really observant, really, well, that's what I understand. I'm sorry if I if I'm wrong, but you really need to be very strategic, observant, analytical. So my 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 advice would be maybe to, when it comes to teamwork, maybe to, I don't know if this advice will help, but maybe write everything down so everything is communicated, not only um, like when speaking, but also writing and so on. And it comes with communication because it's really important to everyone be in the same page that I've also told you before.
Yes.
So to really talk a lot, for example, maybe there are things that you say, no, that's not so important, it's just like a result, it's just an essay. But in the real world, that simple, I don't know, mistake could save a lot.
Yes.
So that's maybe something that I would recommend to really communicate with each other, not only speaking but also writing, and don't be afraid to really say what needs to be said, even if
Okay.
the other person would get mad about it, because
Oh,
probably they won't, they will understand. Their clients, and in your life you will see a lot of people getting super mad, a lot of people getting, okay, I understand, but you just
yes.
have to say the truth, that there's no other way.
Yes.
So I don't know if that helped.
Yeah, that's really really good and good actually advice. So basically I believe that everyone have different point of view, so I have to respect each and everyone, so I have to understand them. So
Yes.
yes, so
Yeah,
thank,
that's it.
thank you very much. Thank you very much, Miss Daniel. I got the chance, I got the opportunity to learn from you, and to learn about the real life scenarios you are giving me, and I'm actually honored right now. So
Yes. Thank you.
thank you.
I'm really happy to help you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.